Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is finally coming out very soon, and I got to check out the film early, and this will be my non-spoiler review for the movie, but flat out, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings isn't just one of the best debuts inside the MCU, and honestly, it might be one of the best origin films they've ever done. This is a flat out game changer when it comes down to the Marvel Cinematic Universe itself. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new non-spoiler review for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Shang-Chi, of course, is the master of unarmed weaponry-based kung fu, who is now forced to confront his past after being drawn into the Ten Rings organization. It's directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, a fantastic independent director, and it also stars the likes of Simu Liu, Awkwafina, Tony Leung, Yeoh, and, of course, Meng'er Zhang. And I understand, probably messed up a couple of those names. I have a speech problem, but we're going to get right through this review and have some fun, and I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts on this movie, so make sure to leave a comment down below. How excited are you for it? Did you get to attend one of the fan screenings, or are you still waiting for an opening night? Let's discuss it all down there, as well as making sure to hit that like and subscribe button so we can keep talking movies over here on a daily basis. I was absolutely excited for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings once they announced it because of Destin Cretton. I think this guy is such a phenomenal director, and each and every one of his movies has really hit me in a sensitive but soft spot that makes me excited to see what he does next, especially within a big blockbuster storytelling device inside the MCU. And the reason that I kind of named this video, and even my thesis for this entire video, is the fact that Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is a game changer in quite a couple of ways. One, it's really much showing one of the biggest Asian superheroes in the entire world, and now kids are going to be able to grow up and see Simu Liu on the screen and grow up with that. That same reasoning of how T'Challa was such a big thing to the African-American community, Asian community is now having this awesome hero, and that's just one big part of it all. The next part of it all that brings us to being a game changer is the fact of how this film was directed and written. Now, of course, yes, it takes place in the MCU, but almost, if you told me this wasn't a Marvel film, maybe for a couple Easter eggs here and there, and especially towards the third act and some of the stuff in the after credit scene, yes, there are 2 after credit scenes, make sure to stay after those, I would have told you this didn't feel like a Marvel film. It feels very different in its style and tone, and it's been very rare where I felt that watching one of these films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I really do believe that is all thanks to Destin's direction in here. You can fully feel the difference in here and how his style, his poignant posture, might I say, is put into this film in such a dynamic way because, yes, you have the great action, which we'll talk about, you have some great cinematography, and even some great Easter eggs, once again, that explores the MCU in a new, unique way. But for me, the big thing was how it's all weaved into this family drama. A family that was completely torn apart, this brother-sister story, and father story as well. Again, just a broken family, and the dramatic avenues they were able to take with that were some of the most emotional arcs that we have seen so far in not just an MCU film, but especially in a comic book movie where it's telling the origins of one of the characters that they're really much pushing up to being one of the next leading men. And by the end of this film, I sat there just going, I want more Shang-Chi. I want more Simu in this, like right now. I've always been a big fan of his, but he comes to play in here in so many ways. But Destin's direction is one of the big stars of this, and I love how he was able to really much show that this was a new, unique take inside the MCU. And don't get me wrong, when it gets to the third act, it definitely starts to feel a little bit more like the Marvel Cinematic Universe that we completely know. My God, once it comes down to and shows the weaving of the story, it is a different story that we have ever seen inside the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I'm really happy to say that. That was probably the thing that truly surprised me watching this movie, was that tone in place. As you're watching the movie, the structure, the pacing, which won't be for everyone. For me, it was absolutely everything. And I loved it because it just felt different, and it became a game changer in that instance, because I hope to God, if this is what we're getting with Shang-Chi, I cannot wait to see what Chloe Zhao does with the Eternals and what we get later down the road with other Marvel films. Even speaking about that, like I mentioned, I want more Simu in this role. I want more Shang-Chi right now, and I hope to God we don't have to wait too long, because Simu is absolutely incredible in this. He is the brand new hero to cheer on for, and to just, in this world of the Avengers where you have all these high and mighty heroes and already heroes that we've spent so many years with, I can already see Simu becoming one of my favorite actors in this world. And just in general, seeing Shang-Chi become one of my favorite characters in the MCU. The development they just given to this film alone, the passion, all of that, I cannot imagine what they're going to be able to do with him later down the road. And especially some of the stuff they set up in here, it is just freaking awesome. The rest of the cast is also really good. Awkwafina, I loved her in The Farewell. I think she should have been nominated for that. In fact, probably even won. There could be an argument to be held there, but I know not everyone is a fan of her. I gotta say, she surprised me in here as well. I knew she was probably going to be the comedic relief. Almost all of her jokes did land for me, but the thing that I loved about her is when she needed to hit those dramatic moments, she truly did. And her chemistry with Simu was just top tier. Tony Leung, I mean, he is a damn legend, and seeing that he was going to be playing the new version of the Mandarin, the real Mandarin, it was quite exciting. And for me, I actually think he becomes not just one of the best villains in the MCU, but maybe one of the best characters ever written. I think even going in there a little bit deeper without getting into spoilers, there is some emotional weight to kind of be said in there, and just watching his character progress throughout this entire movie makes me just wish that we would have gotten more of him inside the MCU already to this point. But Leung is an absolute legend, and he stole the damn show in here. He was fantastic. There's one moment in particular towards the third act where I almost had a tear in my eye. I was just sitting there like getting emotionally wrapped up inside this entire story, and I was quite impressed. Always back into that broken family drama that we truly have here right now, and it becomes, again, why Shang-Chi is so important and just in general really special. Shang-Chi's sister in here, absolutely badass too. I need more of her as well. This whole cast is just great, and they each and every single one of them brings something special to the table. Of course, with it being an MCU film, like I said, there are some awesome Easter eggs, especially towards the end credit scene. Seriously, stay put in your seat. You do not want to miss at least one of those. We just got so giddy seeing, okay, this is the direction we're going. I love it. Of course, in the trailers, we did see some great action set pieces, and we are all wondering, okay, is this going to come about into it all? Because when you look at some of the old kung fu films, you're just sitting there baffled like, this is amazing. That's why I'm so nitpicky when it comes to action. And yeah, Shang-Chi has the best action in the entire MCU yet, at least when it comes to hand-to-hand combat. I sat there on the edge of my seat throughout every single moment. Whether it's the bus scene you see in the trailer, there's more to it, and it's freaking amazing. Whether it's the scene where he's fighting the Death Dealer, this dude, freaking awesome. And there's more moments like that throughout each and every action set piece and every sequence that just gets you on the edge of your seat where you're sitting there just wanting to jump up and cheer for Simu to kick some ass. But not even him. Tony Leung is awesome as the new version of the Mandarin, or again, the real version of the Mandarin. And just the cinematography in every single one of those scenes just blew me away. And it just goes to show, guys, for the future of the MCU, every action scene's got to be like this. There's absolutely one shot taken here that, yeah, it might be one of the best comic book fight scenes ever. No, this is where a lot of people are probably going to differ. I think when it comes down to the third act, kind of one of the problems that a lot of people had with Black Panther was it gets a little bit too big and a little bit MCU-ish. I loved it. I ate it all up. It's very ambitious and impressive with what they were going for, and the trailers do not even dive into it at all. It gets really wacky and weird, but I really ate it up. And I think the way that it was filmed, the way that it was shot, was quite stunning, to be completely honest. But if you came out and told me, Zach, I didn't like it, I thought it was kind of dumb, or it just didn't work for me, that whole entire third act thing, I'd get it too. That is the one part of the film where I do feel like it will defer certain people inside the story that they were trying to tell. Very small-scaled story, then goes pretty damn big by the end. I ate it up, but it won't be for everyone. Something that the MCU does really well is it caters to everything, and I think Destin shows here how he was able to cater to the blockbuster fans, but also cater to his independent roots of giving just a damn good story. And it shows why Kevin Feige picks certain directors to take on these projects, is if they're a good storyteller, he's going to bring them into the table. Honestly, when it comes down to any cons I had one, and I think it was just the pacing. There are quite a few flashbacks in here that I do think don't become a detriment to, per se, but at times does slow down the pacing, and at times where I was like, okay, I don't think we needed a flashback here. Maybe if we would have intersected a little bit more in the beginning. Small things like that. Yeah, it's true. Shang-Chi is incredible. It's more than I expected it to be in every single way, and that family drama part was phenomenal. Simu Liu establishes himself as the next huge hero to cheer for in the world of the Avengers. Tony Leung brings one of the best characters to life in the MCU, And while, yes, there's phenomenal action, it's weaved into one hell of a powerful family drama. Shang-Chi is truly a game changer, and I didn't expect that. I expected a pretty damn good kung fu film with some awesome action scenes, and I got way more than that. An emotional tale in here that, again, establishes Shang-Chi himself as one of the awesome new heroes inside the MCU. I have never, it's been a while since I've seen an origin story for a character in a comic book film, or just in general when you look at the MCU, probably since the first Iron Man or even the first Captain America film, where I went and said, all right, I'm completely in. This character's freaking amazing. I fell in love with this character, and I cannot wait to see what they do with him more, and especially some of the other cast members that might be making debuts later down the road. This is a very exciting movie, and I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts. So with all that said, I'm going to give Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings an A. Absolutely one of my favorite films of the year, and I'm so excited to discuss this film with all you guys down below in the comment section. Again, I went in with tempered expectations when the trailer started coming out, but my hype kept rising and rising and rising to the point where I was a little bit worried that it wasn't going to hit it. But the second the film ended, I wanted to jump right back in and go see the film once again. It's a very exciting movie, and I cannot, again, wait to have great conversations with you guys down below in the comment section. Again, hit that like and subscribe button, comment down below, head on over to See How Much Fun Films on Odyssey Films early, and of course, it's a big thing to you and a big thing to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. So, of course, until next time, stay classy.